I can fix this engine for you.
I'll marry you if you could fix that thing.
You think you can fix what MIT engineers couldn't? I'll eat your shit if you get this dead engine running.
They mocked him for the color of his hands, laughed at the uniform he wore. But what they didn't know was that the same man they called the janitor was about to outsmart every engineer in the building. This ain't just another story about revenge. It's about dignity, genius, and divine justice. Because when you laugh at the wrong person, you might just end up bowing before them. So before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, like this video if you believe in hidden greatness, and turn on your notifications. Because stories like this, they remind the world that you can't keep a good soul down. The janitor they tried to humiliate. Sometimes life don't break you because you're weak. It breaks you to show the world how strong you really are. And in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, on a morning that smelled like fresh coffee and ambition, one man was about to find out just how cruel success could look when it wears a smile. Her name was Evelyn Carter, 41 years old, CEO of Novatech Dynamics, and queen of every room she walked into. She was powerful, precise, and she had a habit of cutting people down with elegance, like a diamond blade hidden in silk. The boardroom that morning felt like a funeral. For hope, for patience, maybe for someone's job. On the table sat a $3 million prototype, Novatech's pride and joy, a futuristic engine built to power self-driving trucks. But now it just sat there, sparking, smoking dead. 20 engineers surrounded it, all from the best schools money could buy. And still, none of them could bring that engine back to life. That's when she said it, her voice like ice sliding across glass. Evelyn, mocking, maybe the janitor can fix it. Every head turned toward the back of the room. And there he was, Darius Cole, holding a mop, wearing a uniform that smelled like bleach and humility. For 3 years, he'd been walking those marble halls, invisible to everyone with a title. The laughter hit him like a slap. Sharp, familiar, the kind of laughter that tells you they don't see you as human. Evelyn walked closer, her heels clapping against the floor like gunfire. Evelyn, tell you what, Darius, you fix that engine, and I'll marry you right here in front of everyone. The room exploded with laughter. Men in $2 shoes, women in tailor blazers, laughing at a man with calloused hands and quiet eyes. But Darius didn't say a word. He just stood there, looking at that broken engine like it had just whispered his name. Because what they didn't know was that he'd spent his life listening to machines that other men gave up on. Before the janitor's uniform, before the mops and the trash bins. Darius was different. He'd grown up in Detroit, in a garage that smelled like gasoline, steel, and wisdom. His granddaddy, Earl Cole, was a legend on 8 Mile. Folks said the man could fix an engine just by listening to it breathe. Granddaddy Earl, echoing softly. Engines don't care about color, boy. They care about rhythm. You feel that pulse. That's life talking to you through steel. And Darius had listened. Every hum, every vibration, every click. He heard the language of machines before he could even drive one. But when his mama got sick, dreams had to wait. Tuition money turned into hospital bills. Scholarships turned into prayers. And Darius traded a college lab for a cleaning card. Still, he never stopped studying. He'd clean during the day. And at night, he'd read blueprints left behind in that same boardroom. The same one Evelyn ruled like a queen. And when everyone else went home, Darius stayed behind, listening, watching, learning. That evening, long after the laughter died down, he found himself standing alone with that same engine. It sat in silence, mocking the people who thought they understood it. He wiped his hands on his uniform, walked around the table, and whispered, "Darius, all right, baby, tell me what's wrong." He placed both hands on the cold metal, closed his eyes, and listened. The vibration was uneven, like a heart with 2 beats fighting each other. Then it hit him. The parts were German, but the software, American. Metric measurements versus imperial units. A microscopic difference, but one that caused chaos at high speed. He opened his eyes and whispered, almost smiling, "Darius, you ain't broken. You just speak in the wrong language." He could fix it. He knew he could. But fate don't let you move in silence for long. Because when he turned around, she was standing there, Evelyn Carter, cold as a storm in pearls and Prada. "Evelyn, so this is what you do after hours? Pretend to be something you're not." She folded her arms, her voice dripping with cruelty. "Evelyn, go on then, hero. Fix it in front of everyone. Tomorrow, noon, you get 2 hours." She paused, her red lips curving into a devil smile. "Evelyn, and we'll stream it live." And just like that, the trap was set. By morning, the whispers had spread across Novatech like wildfire. The janitor was going to try to fix the engine. Some called it brave. Most called it stupid. By noon, cameras were set up. Reporters were waiting. Investors were tuning in from New York, Berlin, and Tokyo. And in the center of it all stood one man with nothing but faith, grease-stained hands, and a dream that refused to die. When Darius stepped into that boardroom, every eye was waiting for him to fail. Even the security guards looked ready to drag him out. Evelyn sat in the corner, legs crossed, eyes sharp, ready to watch him crumble. But Darius didn't look at her. He looked at that engine, and when he touched it again, something changed in the room, something no camera could capture. It was like destiny took a deep breath. Because sometimes, God lets you get humiliated, just so your victory hits harder. But what Darius didn't know was that someone in that room wasn't going to let him win, no matter how right he was. Someone had a plan. They say humiliation is the tax you pay before destiny blesses you. And that morning, Destiny came dressed in a navy blue uniform and calloused hands. Darius Cole walked into that boardroom, not as a janitor, but as a man with something to prove. The cameras were rolling. Investors from New York to Berlin were watching live. And Evelyn Carter, the queen of Novatech, sat in the corner with her coffee, legs crossed, waiting to witness a public failure. The air inside the room was heavy, not from heat, but from pride. The kind of pride that blinds people until they trip over their own arrogance. Every executive, every intern, every engineer in that tower had gathered around the glass wall to watch what they thought would be the end of a janitor's career. Evelyn stood, her voice sharp enough to cut through silence. "Evelyn, ladies and gentlemen, today our maintenance staff will demonstrate what happens when curiosity goes too far." Laughter rippled through the room. And yet, when Darius stepped forward, something about his calmness made the laughter fade. He wasn't shaking. He wasn't sweating. He just looked at that broken engine like it was an old friend waiting to be understood. In the back of the room, 2 security guards stood ready, Evelyn's way of reminding everyone who had the power. Beside them was Dr. Elena Ruiz, the company's senior consultant, a woman known for her brilliance and brutal honesty. She'd worked with NASA once. She'd seen genius before, but rarely in coveralls. She watched Darius closely. Something in his eyes told her he wasn't bluffing. Darius pulled out a small toolkit from his cart. Nothing fancy, no brand labels, just tools passed down from his granddaddy. He rolled up his sleeves, touched the cold steel of that engine, and took a deep breath. "Darius, quietly, all right, baby, let's talk." He closed his eyes and placed one hand on the casing. The hum was off, not chaotic but tired, like a heart out of rhythm. "Darius, softly, it's fight in itself." The engineers whispered behind him, smirking. One of them, Tyler Brooks, had a design, leaned toward his co-worker, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Tyler, man probably thinks he's talking to the engine." But Darius ignored them. He'd been ignored and laughed at his whole life. Pain like that becomes armor after a while. He opened his eyes and pointed to the monitor. "Darius, the problem ain't the software. It's the calibration. The system was built with metric specs from Germany, but the AI code runs in inches, imperial units. That mismatch is throwing the whole harmonic balance off." A hush fell over the room. Evelyn raised an eyebrow, unimpressed. "Evelyn, that's nonsense. We hired specialists from MIT and Stanford." Dr. Ruiz interrupted her softly. "Dr. Ruiz, he's not wrong." The words hit the room like thunder. For a moment, even Evelyn froze. But pride don't back down easy. She smirked again, trying to take back control of the crowd. Evelyn, then fix it, Mr. Cole. Let's see this theory of yours, if it even exists. Darius nodded. He flipped the power. The engine came alive. A low rumble, steady, uncertain. Everyone leaned forward. He listened. Every pulse, every vibration. He could hear where it was struggling, like a preacher hearing doubt in his own congregation. He turned to the engineers. Darius, you ever try to make a choir sing when half the folks don't know the key? They stared at him confused. Darius, that's what's happening here. The AI and the engine, they both perfect. They just speak different languages. They need a translator. He walked over to his cart and pulled out a small metal piece. A harmonic dampener he'd made months ago for one of the building's generators. To everyone else, it looked like scrap. But to him, it was salvation. Darius, sometimes you don't need $1 million solution. You just need to listen. He began attaching the piece to the engine's joint. His hands moved fast but precise. Years of practice hiding inside every motion. Dr. Ruiz watched with growing awe. The man wasn't guessing. He knew. Dr. Ruiz, whispering he's tuning it like a musician. The room fell silent. Darius tightened the final bolt. He wiped his hands, looked at Evelyn, and said softly, Darius, let's see if she can sing now. Sound, ignition turning. The engine roars to life. At first, nothing seemed
Live from the
different.
Mega Lab.
Just the same low
prototype
hum.
is
The
officially
same cycle they'd
operational.
seen fail 100 times.
What an
Then,
unbelievable moment.
the tone
here.
changed. The harsh rattle smoothed out. The vibrations settled. And suddenly, that engine purred like it had found peace. The diagnostics monitor turned green. Line after line after line. Temperature stabilized. Power output jumped by 7%. Efficiency exceeded projection. For 6 weeks, that engine had mocked the smartest minds in the building. And in 6 minutes, a man they called the janitor made it sing. The room erupted. Shocked gasps, murmurs, the sound of disbelief clashing with pride. Dr. Ruiz was the first to speak. Dr. Ruiz, my God, it's flawless. But Evelyn Carter didn't clap. Her face went pale. The kind of pale that only comes when power starts slipping through your fingers. You see, for someone like Evelyn, a man like Darius succeeding wasn't just inconvenient. It was dangerous, because it meant she'd built her empire on overlooking the very people who could save. She smiled, but her eyes told another story. Evelyn forced congratulations, Mr. Cole. It seems you've done what others couldn't. She turned to her assistant and whispered something. The woman nodded and slipped out of the room. Dr. Ruiz noticed it. So did Darius. But before either could question it, Evelyn raised her voice for the cameras. Evelyn, we'll be running full diagnostic tests. If this holds, Mr. Cole, I'll personally see to your promotion. Her words sounded sweet, but her tone tasted like poison. An hour later, the test was complete. The readings were perfect. Investors clapped through the live stream. Emails poured in, and the Novatech stock began to climb. Darius had done the impossible. He'd turned humiliation into history. But as he walked out of that boardroom, Dr. Ruiz caught his arm. Dr. Ruiz, low voice, be careful, Darius. Power never forgives the people it underestimates. He nodded slowly. He didn't know what she meant, but he was about to find out. That night, the building was quiet again. The celebration had died down, but in the server room, 2 floors below, a shadow moved between the machines. A line of code was uploaded into the system, one that would sabotage the engine test results by morning. And the name logged in the security file was Darius Cole. Someone was framing him, setting him up for a fall so public it would erase his victory overnight. By sunrise, the headlines would read, Janitor's tampering causes Novatech malfunction. And the woman smiling behind it all was the same one who'd made the bet in front of the world, Evelyn Carter. But destiny don't give gifts without storms. And Darius Cole, the man they laughed at, the man they mocked, wasn't done yet. Because the same way he could hear an engine's heartbeat, he could hear lies too. And soon, the higher you climb, the quieter the applause gets. And sometimes the loudest cheers hide the sharpest knives. That night, Darius Cole went home feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. The internet was buzzing. The janitor who outsmarted MIT engineers. From mop to mastermind. His name was everywhere. And for the first time, the world was watching him with respect instead of pity. He didn't know that while he was sleeping, someone was already erasing his tomorrow. At 2:47 a.m., a login appeared in Novatech's internal system. An anonymous user, one that didn't exist on any employee list. The command was simple. Inject a fault code into the prototype software. The purpose? Make the engine fail during its morning demonstration. By the time the sun rose, security footage had been edited, log files altered, and the name attached to the digital fingerprint was Darius Cole. He came into work that morning with a humble smile, his uniform freshly ironed, his spirit finally light. But when he reached the lobby, something fell off. Whispers, eyes following him, a silence that wasn't ordinary. And then he saw them, security guards waiting by the elevator. 3 of them. Guard. Mr. Cole, you'll need to come with us. Darius frowned. Darius, everything all right? Guard. Just following orders, sir. They escorted him to the 34th floor. The boardroom that once echoed with laughter at his expense. Only this time, there was no laughter, just cold eyes and screens flashing red error codes. The same engine he'd fixed the day before. Now it was sat dead again, smoking silent, its diagnostic reports screaming tampering detected, and sitting at the head of the table. Evelyn Carter smiled, that same cruel smile. Evelyn, calm, Mr. Cole. Care to explain why our system shows you access the prototype after hours? He blinked, confused, shocked. Darius, ma'am, I didn't. I went straight home after the test. Evelyn, cutting him off. Then why, Mr. Cole? Does the security log show your ID? Your password? Your fingerprints? His heart dropped. She was lying, but the evidence looked flawless. Dr. Ruiz sat across the table, watching closely, her eyes flickering between the data and Darius's trembling hands. Darius, you know I wouldn't do that. Evelyn, all I know is that you had access. And now, this company faces millions in losses again. The meeting ended before it began. He was suspended, effective immediately. Nobody, no access, no chance to defend himself. They escorted him out of the building while employees whispered from behind screens. The same people who'd filmed his success yesterday were now filming his downfall today. That's how fast the world turns on you when you stop being convenient. That evening, Darius sat in his small apartment, staring at his reflection in the dark window. He could still hear the laughter from that first day, the same laughter that turned into applause, and now back into silence. He'd been humiliated, celebrated, and destroyed, all in 72 hours. His phone buzzed. A news headline blinked across the screen. Novatech hero turns hacker. Employee sabotages company system. He let the phone fall from his hand. Sometimes pain don't come with fire or screams. Sometimes it just sits quiet in your chest and rots you from the inside. He thought about giving up, packing up, leaving Atlanta behind. But then he remembered something. Granddaddy Earl, echoing, engines don't lie, boy. People do. Listen close. Even the truth makes noise if you know how to hear it. And that's when Darius realized something. If they faked the logs, there'd be noise in the system. Tiny inconsistencies, like fingerprints left behind in the code. So he went to work, not with tools this time, but with memory, instinct, and sleepless determination. He recreated the log file from memory, using a backup copy he'd emailed himself weeks earlier. And there it was, a digital glitch, hidden in the metadata. The access code wasn't his. It belonged to someone higher up, someone close to Evelyn. The next day, he met Dr. Elena Ruiz at a small diner on Peachtree Street. She'd been waiting for him, her eyes filled with the kind of understanding you only get from years of seeing truth buried under lies. He slid the printed data across the table. Darius, you see that? Dr. Ruiz, that's a signature key. It's encrypted, but not yours. Darius, exactly. She leaned closer. Dr. Ruiz, you're being framed. Evelyn's using your login as a ghost key. I've seen this before. Corporate sabotage. Her voice was calm, but her words burned. Darius, so what do I do? Dr. Ruiz, you fight back, but not loud. Quiet. Let her think she's already won. And that's when something shifted inside Darius. The brokenness turned into focus. The pain became purpose. For the first time, he wasn't just fighting for a job. He was fighting for dignity. For every person who'd ever been laughed at for dreaming too loud. He went back to that engine room after hours. With Dr. Ruiz's key card and her blessing, they powered the backup prototype, scanned its systems line by line, and recorded every anomaly Evelyn's team had hidden. By midnight, they had proof. Emails, timestamps, and system access logs, all leading back to Evelyn Carter and her assistant, Maya Walsh. But the real battle wasn't just in the code. It was in the court of public opinion. Evelyn controlled Novateka's image. She could bury the truth with one press release. So Darius and Dr. Ruiz had to outsmart her, the same way he'd outsmarted that engine. The next board meeting was scheduled for Friday morning. The German investors would be there, and the presentation was supposed to prove the company's stability. Darius had one shot to show the truth. Live, public, unedited. He didn't sleep that night, didn't eat, didn't even pray, because his soul had already decided what needed to be done. When Friday came, he walked through the lobby with that same quiet strength that made people turn to look. Security tried to stop him, but Dr. Ruiz was waiting at the elevator, holding a folder thick with evidence. Dr. Ruiz, you ready? Darius, born ready. As they rode up to the 34th floor, you could feel the storm brewing. Not outside, inside that building. Because truth, when it's been buried too long, don't come out whispering. It comes out roaring. And that roar was about to shake Novateka's tower to its foundations. By the time those elevator doors opened, Evelyn Carter was already smiling at the cameras, ready to present her new engineering initiative. But she didn't know. Her own lies were walking straight toward her, dressed in a janitor's uniform and carrying the truth in his hands. They say truth don't need to shout. It just waits for the right moment, and then it walks in wearing confidence. That morning, inside Novateka's glass tower, the air buzzed with fake excitement. Cameras were being set up. Investors lined the front row. And at the center of it all, Evelyn Carter was smiling. The kind of smile that hides poison behind lipstick. She thought she'd won. She thought the story was finished. But destiny was just clearing its throat. At exactly 9 a.m., the board meeting began. The company's senior executives filled the long oval table. Reporters waited outside the glass walls, streaming the event live. Evelyn stood tall, her tone smooth, practiced, as she began her presentation on integrity and innovation. Evelyn said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Novatek has always believed in progress. And today, we take another step forward." The doors opened, and silence fell. Darius Cole walked in. He wasn't supposed to be there. Security froze, unsure what to do. Dr. Elena Ruiz walked beside him, her eyes sharp, focused, unafraid. Darius wore the same navy blue uniform they mocked him for. No suit, no tie, just truth stitched into every thread. He stopped in front of the room, looking at Evelyn, then at the investors. Darius calmly said, "Before you continue, ma'am, I think you forgot a few slides." Gasps filled the room. Evelyn's fake smile twitched. Evelyn, security. Dr. Ruiz, interrupting, let him speak. There are moments in life where time stands still, where power, pride, and fear all breathe the same air. This was one of those moments. Darius walked to the projector, plugged in a small flash drive, and hit play. On the screen, lines of code flashed. Real-time system logs from Novateka's servers. He zoomed in on one entry. Access granted. User ID. D.Cole. Timestamp. 2:47 a.m. The same line Evelyn had used to destroy him. But Darius wasn't done. He enlarged the screen again, revealing the metadata underneath. Hidden, but not erased. Darius, firmly, what you didn't see was the encryption signature attached to that entry. "It doesn't belong to me." He pointed to the code, for small characters that changed everything. MW INT 02. Dr. Ruiz, reading Maya Walsh Internal Account 02. The room erupted in whispers. Evelyn's assistant, her right hand, was the one who planted the code. Evelyn's face went pale, but she still tried to lie her way out. Evelyn, this proves nothing. He could have. Darius, it proves everything. The system was tampered with from your executive terminal. The same night you suspended me. He tapped another key. Security footage appeared, restored from the server's auto backup. And there it was, a shadowed figure entering Evelyn's office at 2:43 a.m., typing on her workstation and uploading the corrupted code. The timestamp matched. The camera caught her reflection in the glass door. Maya Walsh. Dr. Ruiz turned to the board. Dr. Ruiz, these records have been verified by a third-party forensic team. The tampering was deliberate and authorized from executive-level clearance. The German investors whispered among themselves, voices sharp and disbelieving. Their representative, Klaus Reinhardt, spoke first. Klaus, Miss Carter, did you authorize this? Evelyn hesitated. For the first time, she had no words. The cameras were still rolling. Thousands of viewers were watching online. And suddenly, the same woman who mocked a janitor was now speechless before him. Pride fell that day. Hard, fussed, and loud. Evelyn tried to spin the story, blame her assistant, call it an unfortunate misunderstanding. But Dr. Ruiz had already handed the board a sealed folder. Copies of every falsified email, every deleted message, every whisper of corruption. The truth hit like thunder. By the time the meeting ended, Evelyn Carter was no longer CEO of Novatech. She was escorted out quietly, her designer heels echoing down the marble hallway. She once ruled like a queen. That same afternoon, the board called an emergency press conference. And this time, the man they once called the janitor was standing at the podium. Darius, humble tone, I didn't fix that engine for fame. I did it because every problem has a heartbeat. And if you listen long enough, you can always find the truth. The room fell silent. Even the cameras stopped clicking for a moment. Dr. Ruiz stood behind him, smiling like a teacher watching her best student graduate from pain. The investors doubled their funding commitment. And within a week, Darius Cole was officially named lead engineer of Harmonic Systems, the youngest department head in Novatech's history. 2 months later, a new name was etched onto the Novatech building's entrance plaque. Novatech Dynamics, rebuilt by truth. And right under it, in smaller print, in honor of Darius Cole. He didn't ask for it. He didn't even want it. But sometimes, the world finally catches up to what God saw in you all along. One night, long after everyone had gone home, Darius stood alone in the workshop. The same engine that once humiliated him now purred smoothly. Obedient and perfect, he rested his hand on the steel and smiled. Darius said softly, "We made it, Granddaddy." And if you listen close enough, just beneath the hum, you could almost hear a voice, gravelly and proud, whisper back, "Granddaddy Earl, Echo told you, boy." Engines don't care about color or title. They just want somebody who can hear. That's the thing about life. It don't ask for credentials before it gives you purpose. It just asks one question. How much are you willing to endure to prove who you really are? Darius Cole endured mockery, lies, and betrayal. But in the end, he taught an empire the sound of humility. Because when truth finally starts to sing, every lie in the room goes silent. Sometimes life don't punish you to destroy you. It punishes you to prepare you. Because pressure don't break diamonds. It creates them. They tried to humiliate him. They tried to bury him. But all they did was plant a seed that grew stronger than their lies. If this story touched your soul, if it reminded you that real greatness don't always wear a suit, then show some love. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you believe in second chances. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell, cause more stories like this are coming. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's next.